You were never expected to survive what you went through, not just by people, but by the enemy. You were marked, spiritually targeted, yet somehow you're still standing. That wasn't luck. That was God. That wasn't coincidence. That was divine interception. That wasn't just a close call. That was warfare, and you won. You might not even realize it yet, but you just dodged a bullet, not a physical one, though it could have been, but a spiritual one, a trap, a setup, a storm designed to break you. But when God has His hand on you, no weapon formed against you will prosper. And today's message is proof of that miracle. You ever notice how sometimes everything feels like it's crashing down all at once? One thing goes wrong, then another, and right when you feel like you can't take one more hit, you get one. But somehow you still don't break. That's not random. That's resilience birthed in the Spirit. You dodged spiritual sabotage. You survived manipulation disguised as love. You escaped a deal that looked perfect, but was poison. You were preserved from a betrayal that would have left your soul in pieces. And the wildest part? Most of the time, you don't even know how close you came, because God's protection isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a closed door. Sometimes it's a feeling in your gut. Sometimes it's a delay that makes you angry until you realize what it saved you from. People think miracles are flashy, but when you're chosen, your miracles often come in disguise. You didn't lose that job. You were redirected. You didn't get ghosted. You got protected. You weren't rejected. You were hidden until the right doors opened. God moves in silence when He's preserving purpose. And when you're chosen, that protection doesn't stop just because you're tired. He keeps shielding you, even when you want to give up, even when you question Him. Lately, you've been feeling different, haven't you? Not just tired, but like something big is coming. You can't explain it, but something in your spirit says, get ready. That's not anxiety. That's spiritual alignment. Because after every bullet dodged comes a blessing released. You didn't come out of that storm for nothing. You were spared for impact. The enemy thought he had you. He sent people into your life who looked sweet but had knives. He tried to drown you in your own mind. Depression, confusion, self-doubt. But God said, not this one. God interrupted the plan. God canceled the curse. God cleared the way. That's why you feel that shift, because you were just upgraded in the Spirit. The battle didn't take you out. It took you higher. You are not weak. You are not unlucky. You are not forgotten. You are a walking miracle. Say it out loud right now, wherever you are. I was spared for a reason. My life is evidence of divine protection. There's a reason you made it through what others didn't. There's a reason they threw stones and nothing stuck. There's a reason why the very thing meant to destroy you became the fire that forged you. You were built for this, born for this, chosen for this. If you're still watching, this wasn't just a video. This was confirmation. Comment below, I'm a walking miracle. Let the enemy know. Let your spirit know. Don't scroll past without claiming what's yours. Like this if you felt it in your soul. Subscribe if you're ready for the next divine assignment. And share this with someone you know just dodged something heavy. Because sometimes they need help seeing it for what it really was, a spiritual escape. You've made it through what was meant to break you, not because you were perfect, but because God wasn't done yet. You are covered. You are rising. You are proof that grace is real. And this next chapter will not be subtle. It will be supernatural. You didn't dodge that bullet by accident. You did it because heaven chose to shield you. So now, walk like this. You ever sit in silence and just wonder how you made it through some of the things you did? I mean, think about it. The heartbreak that almost shattered you. The betrayal you never saw coming. The nights you cried out with no reply, no help, no answers. And yet, here you are. Maybe bruised, but not broken. Maybe tired, but still breathing. Maybe unsure, but something inside you refuses to quit. That's not just your willpower. That's divine resilience. There's been a power moving through you, even when you couldn't feel it, even when you doubted your worth, even when people tried to convince you that your softness was weakness. But they were wrong. Your spirit, it's unshakable. Your light, it's dangerous to darkness. Your walk, it's guided by something bigger than this world. You've been protected from things that never even reached you. People who meant harm couldn't get near you. Opportunities that weren't really for you got snatched away before they could drain your soul. That's not rejection. That's divine redirection. Opportunities that weren't really for you got snatched away before they could drain your soul. That's not rejection. That's divine redirection. There's something sacred about being hidden for a season. And maybe that's been your life lately. Quiet, isolated, misunderstood. But don't confuse silence with absence. Sometimes God hides you because He's healing you, strengthening you, separating you from distractions so He can build you for destiny. And while you were tucked away, they counted you out. They assumed you had nothing left to give. But what they couldn't see was what was forming inside your soul. They didn't see the late nights you stayed up talking to God. They didn't see the inner battles you won in private. They didn't see the growth that happened in your wilderness. But they will. Because this next season won't be quiet. That pain gave you power. That delay gave you wisdom. That no prepared you for a yes that will shock people. Your survival wasn't an accident. It was intentional. Every tear you cried, it watered something. Every time you didn't retaliate, you built spiritual muscle. Every time you held your tongue, you activated grace. And now, your spirit's been activated. You feel it, the shift, the inner knowing that your life's about to turn in a way even you didn't expect. Because what you just came through wasn't a coincidence. It was a divine setup for public favor after private pruning. See, when you dodge a bullet in the spirit, it doesn't just spare your life. It positions it. What you were protected from will become the very platform that elevates you. The story you never wanted to tell will be the very one that sets someone else free. That's how God works. He turns pain into purpose. He turns delay into destiny. He turns survivors into leaders, and that's what you are now, a spiritual leader. Not because you asked to be, but because you lived through what most couldn't. You're not weak for feeling tired. You're not failing because you're still healing. You're chosen. And you've been anointed through experience, not theory, not preaching, not pretending. You've walked through real fire. You've carried real wounds. You've stared down the enemy with tears in your eyes and kept going. And for that, heaven honors you. So don't let this world convince you you're average. Don't let people's silence make you question your value. Don't let fear keep you small. What you just survived proves this. You're bigger than the reason you've been attacked so heavily isn't because you're weak. It's because you're dangerous to darkness. There's something in you the enemy fears. That fire, that light, that faith. The way you still choose kindness, even after being betrayed. The way you still believe in people, even after they failed you. The way you still pray, even when heaven feels silent. You ever notice how people try to dim your light before you even know how bright it is? That's not random. They sense something on you, even when you can't see it yourself. Because chosen ones carry a frequency, a presence. You shift rooms without saying a word. You bring peace where there's chaos. You ask questions that expose truth. And for some people, that's uncomfortable. But you weren't sent here to fit in. You were sent here to break patterns. That's why you felt alone. That's why your circle is small. That's why they couldn't handle your energy. It was too raw, too pure, too real. They didn't walk with God the way you did, so they couldn't walk with you for long. You've outgrown places that used to feel like home. And guess what? That's okay, because God is positioning you for what's next, not what's familiar. You're not crazy for feeling what you feel. You're not imagining that surge inside you. You're spiritually awakening. And when you dodge spiritual bullets, your discernment sharpens. That's why you see through people faster now. Why fake apologies don't move you anymore. Why old habits feel like poison to your soul. You've shifted. And with that shift comes responsibility. You weren't just spared to survive. You were spared to lead. There's someone out there who needs to hear your story. There's someone struggling with what you've already overcome. There's someone drowning who's going to catch their breath the moment you speak your truth. Don't silence yourself just because it's uncomfortable. Don't shrink because you're afraid of being judged. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be light. You didn't survive that situation just to pretend it didn't happen. You came out with scars that shine, with a testimony that carries weight, with an anointing that can't be duplicated. You're walking proof that when God says not this one, even hell has to back off. So now it's time. Time to walk in that awareness. Time to speak from that authority. Time to live like the miracle you are. And I know it's scary. You didn't ask for the calling.